clouds are slowly getting past us. The blue skies are starting to break through.
The sun always shines on the righteous, Minshall. We're back in business. Right, only the winner plus the next 4 on times straight through to the final. Been a good year for 800-metre running, seniors and juniors. I think the world record might go at the end of this summer, I really do. In the European under-20s, we've had 13 men inside 1:48 so far this year. And we have some big names to watch out for here. Yannis van Lundert, 3 wins so far this year. National champion as well, 146.8. He's among the top 10 quickest in this age group in Europe. Some of the favourites in this one as well. Bartolomew Kisiel from Poland, also inside 1:48. Ogrinch of Slovenia. And then 2 sharing a lane. Maxuni of Kosovo and Collado, 48.3, 400-metre runner. Then to the quickest man in this age group in Europe, Will Rabjohns, won the trials in Great Britain, student at Loughborough University. A 1.8 second PB this year. Oisin Lynch represents Adams State University. Cordiero getting a good cheer from the crowd, national champion indoors and out. And Bonici of Malta on the inside, twice a national champion for them. Big field. Will Rabjohns, the favourite here, but only the winner guaranteed a place in the final. This is tough. So the first of 4 semi-finals, if you like, in the men's 800 metres. This is brutal qualification. It's almost as important to be tactically astute in these races as it is to be fast. And it's Cordeiro of Portugal desperately trying to hold the inside line, and also the Frenchman Van den Leut on the outside. Rabjohns in 7th place, just boxed in a fraction here at the moment. This qualification is really tough. Hardest we've seen so far today, Phil, by far.
Oh, without a doubt, as we're saying, it's a programme which doesn't allow for semi-finals. It's straight to a final, and this is going to be a tough race. Just coming up through to the bell, and it's a good pace at the under-20 level. 54.41 at the bell.
The last 400 metres in the opening heat, straight through to the final, but only guaranteed for the winner. The fastest man in the field, the fastest man in the whole race across all 4 heats is Will Rabjohns. Now he's got himself in a position to strike on the left-hand side. The clock is vitally important for those who don't win. Kisiel has blocked off the early Portuguese leader, and the Slovenian Ogrinch trying to come up onto the shoulder of the Polish athlete Kisiel now. Will Rabjohns has got himself out of trouble and in pole position. The crowd are on their feet here. It's a cracking atmosphere because everybody's still sheltering from the rain. The fastest man in Europe this year has delivered a brilliant performance. Rabjohns takes it, Kisiel in 2nd, and Ogrinch will also have to wait and see. It's only the quickest 4 outside the 4 heat winners. That was a really good run by Rabjohns, because coming round towards the bell, he was in 7th place and looked as though he had decided to try and find a gap on the inside. By the time we got to the back straight with 300 to go, he realised that was a mistake and gave himself the time to come wide on the outside. No problem for one of the favourites.
Yes, but Kisiel, we're going to have to wait and see whether he goes through. It might well be good enough to see him through to the final at 1:49.94. Golling that battle for 2nd place, and that's going to be very, very important, very tight. Here we can see that battle. Rabjohns, well, he's got the speed, he's got the turn of pace to be able to come wide. He's out in the 3rd lane. It's a lot of elbowing, pushing and shoving behind him, but Rabjohns knows exactly what he's doing, hits the front, and in the end, There's a big gulf between him and the rest of the men behind him. Kisiel of Poland just getting that verdict in that battle for second place.
Really good run there from Will Rabjons. Kisiel and Ogrinch will have to wait and see. A decent pace, but is it fast enough?
There's the lineup. Two very good men in lanes 4 and 5, Joshua Hoffmann and Tom Waterworth of Germany and Britain respectively. But one of them is going to have to settle for battling for a non-automatic qualifier's place. Only one automatic qualifier, as Rob and I have said several occasions. So on the outside, it's Hungary's Mate Solimari. Kadasio and then Dimitar Pandiev, Italy and Bulgaria respectively. Kadasio could be up in there. Then Tom Waterworth, 146.73, fifth on the European list this year, and this man is one place ahead of him in fourth place. Joshua Hoffmann, 146.61. Andrei Shimchuk of Ukraine, that's one of the outsiders to go through. 149.9. Alan Ciszewski of Poland. And then on the inside, Spain's Ryan Barkala. A 147 man, perhaps might also enter the mix. But all eyes will be on Waterworth and Hoffmann. Waterworth, 12 months ago, finished 5th in the European under-18s. Has improved greatly since then. So this, the second heat of the men's 800 metres. Waterworth getting himself in good position. Also Barkala, Spanish under-20 silver medalist. Now Waterworth cutting across at the break, in good position, in pole position at the moment. Behind him, Barkala on the inside, Hoffmann up on his shoulder. Shimchuk, the Ukrainian, was up there initially, now starting to drift back, but it's still Waterworth controlling things from the front.
He was determined to get to the front, wasn't he? Despite the aggressive start from Barkala, who was fired up for this race, roaring into the camera before it started. Waterworth checking the big screen. They're all there, queuing up behind him, but he's in a good position at the moment.
And it's quick, 52.91. It's a second and a half quicker than the first heat. Waterworth still controlling matters from the front. Barkala having a very good race indeed. He's tucked in nicely behind the Briton, the 147 man. And Hoffmann at the moment struggling just a little bit. He's back in third. He's got a lot of ground to make up with 250 to go. Waterworth, well, he's been running scared. He took the pace from the break and he's still at the front. Now Hoffmann trying to get up. There's now a gap between the leading trio and then the Italian Cadasio. And it's Waterworth, though, still with 150 metres to go, who's got the race controlled at the front and the race by the scruff of the neck. And now he's starting to pull away from Barkala. Barkala's hanging on for second place. This is a good run from the Spaniard. Hoffmann starting to struggle, but it's going to be Tom Waterworth who comes through in a very fast time indeed for a first round. 147.82, and a good run by the Spaniard Barkala behind him as well. Well, Hoffmann, we're expecting something more from Joshua Hoffmann, but he's in trouble as far as qualifying for the finals concerned. Nevertheless, no doubt at all, Tom Waterworth gets his place on the start line of the men's 800-metre final here in Tampere.
What a mark of how fast that was after an excellent opening lap of 52.9. Barkala, Caraccio and Hoffmann are all quicker than second in the opening heat. That was Kisiel with 149.9. But really good tactics there from Waterworth. He set his stall out early doors with a 52.9. Barkala ran well. He was really fired up for this race. Hoffmann just ran out of steam down the home straight, and those were big gaps. And they were all undone by the relentless pace of Tom Waterworth, who produced a 54-second last lap. Good running by the Briton, so he and Will Rabjons will be in the final, and deservedly so.
Terrific performance from Waterworth, and he's really come on so much in the last 12 months. He made the final of those European under-18s in Slovakia that we've talked about so much. Really looked a classy performer there in that heat, coming home in 1:47.83, by far quicker than the first heat, but we've still got 2 to go. Ryan Barkala, very good chance of progressing himself at 1:48.42.
And a good performance will be needed in Heat 3 of the 800 metres for whoever comes through this loaded lineup to join Rabjons and Waterworth, guaranteed in the final. The non-automatic spots are there to be taken, but they're quick. Barkala 1:48.42, Caraccio 1:49.08. Mosselman on the outside for the Netherlands, then Lucas Barra, his birthday today. Many happy returns, National Universities champion. Thomas Volny, a 49.2 400-metre runner. Ben Lakaseljak set his PB on the 2nd of June, 1:47.2, and he'll need it. Slovenian, very, very good athlete. Then to Luka Borgi, 18 years of age. His PB came on the 11th of July. Then Theo Thevenet, the Frenchman, 1:46. He's the second quickest in the field behind Rabjons, who won the opening heat. But this is tough. Rafferty Murphy of Great Britain, National Championship silver, inside 1:48 this year. He's also in the top 12, and Hornker on the inside, he's a 1:50 man. So Barkala 1:48.4, Caraccio 1:49.08, and Hoffman 1:49.16. There are the times. This is tough. Thevenet knows this will not be easy, even though he's the quickest in the field on paper. Beautiful sunshine now, and that will help to dry out the track, and no doubt that little delay would have added to the nerves and the sense of anticipation ahead of this one. Pretty much perfect conditions now. The rain seems to have got rid of the wind that was troubling the throwers and the 100-metre runners earlier. Their semi-finals coming up later. Barra, the birthday boy, determined to take that outside line. Murphin is second, and Thevenet coming wide on his shoulder. Be fascinating to see the times here, Phil, because it was 52.9 with Waterworth in the previous heat.
And it's a good run up at the front from Barra. I think he might have taken a tip out of the Tom Waterworth tactical book. And it is Barra leading the way at the moment. It's even faster than the previous heat, 52.88.
Well, Lucas Barra, who celebrates his birthday today, 18 years of age, and what a way to mark the occasion, to storm into a continental final. The spray flicking up into the faces of those in 3rd, 4th and 5th, but Barra, the birthday boy, is beginning to fade. This is Murphin hitting the front with Thevenet on his shoulder. And look at this from Mosselman, trying to get in the shake-up. He's coming through really well here, and Thevenet has a little look of tension in his shoulders. Murphin and Thevenet and Mosselman driving for the line. There's tension from Murphin, but I think he's going to hang on. Another Briton into the final. Thevenet in second, and Mosselman lunging for the line to try and get one of those 4 non-automatic spots. 55.5 on the second lap. He was tying up Murphin, but he hung on really well. Thevenet in second, and Thevenet just behind Barkala's time of 1:48.4. But he is in a non-automatic spot at the moment. Mosselman, diving for the line, has been at the very least rewarded with a PB. And I think he's still in the shake-up with 1:48.77. Great race at the end there. And once again, 3 races, 3 Britons into the final. Good running.
Absolutely, but Barra did everything that he could here. won't go through to the final, but he gave it his best and he did what he could. Then Murfin comes round. Look at the spray being kicked up off the track. Murfin, well, it's all looks a bit ungainly, but it is very, very effective. Tampere and the Dutchman, Musselman, getting through, and at the moment they are in non-automatic qualifying spots. It does also mean that Hoffman, fourth fastest man in Europe this year, has been pushed out.
Good running from Tampere in second place, and a PB for Musselman. He's in with a shout at the moment.
So Carasio, who was third in that previous heat, 1:49.08. He has the last of what they call the hot seats at the moment, but there's one heat to come, and there's some very quick men in it. And that means that's the fourth and final heat of this very intriguing, very exciting first round of the men's 800 metres. Two men stand out above all others. Lukasz Zacic, the Pole, and Noam Mamou, the Israeli athlete. On the outside, it's Aaron Sabayas. 147 man. Now Mamou took the silver medal at the European Under-18s 3 years ago on home soil in Jerusalem. And here the decibels rise. Erasmus Lapas. Pete Hoyer, the German. Lorenzo Porni. Now, Lukasz Zacic on the fastest man in Europe this year, over 2 laps of the track. And on the inside, Vasilios Salpas of Greece, and Storm, I kid you not, Storm, which is a very appropriate name in these conditions, Storm Vervelay. So, Zacic and Mamou, two men who on paper should be the main contenders, battling for that one automatic slot. We've seen a couple of races unfold in unexpected ways. It's Mamou, the Israeli, on the outside. Very quick first 100 metres. At the break, he's going to come across. Zacic putting in a spurt, getting himself in a good position, but it's going to be Mamou who comes all the way from lane 7 to get to the front. Saboyas, and also the Greek, Salpas in there as well. Salpas now drifting back. Zacic in a good position. He's worked his way up to third. This doesn't look as quick as some of the other heats, particularly that second and third heat, but it's still Mamou at the front. Sabayas in second place as we stand at the moment.
Sabayas has got himself in a good position, and Zacic has somehow found his way through, or tried to, on the inside. Second heat 52.9, third heat 52.8, and this is much slower, so it's looking good for the likes of Bakala, who ran a 1:48.42. We may only get the winner through here. This is going to be brutal.
Yeah, Zacic has timed it right. Mamou drifted over to the second lane and left the door open for Zacic, but it's now Zacic battling with Mamou at the front. It's looking as though Saboyas is blocked and is still trying to find a way around the leading pair. He's going to be running up the heels of Mamou. He's going to have to come round the second, into the second lane. Zacic now, as Mamou starts to drift backwards. It's Saboyas having the race of his life. Zacic now, his head back, he's struggling. Saboyas absolutely flying down the home straight here. He's a 1:47 man, nothing like as quick as Zacic, but he's coming through very strongly to clinch his place in the final. And we may see two big names eliminated from this race. Zacic, just let's see if he was quick enough to get through. It's going to be touch and go for Zacic, and it looks as though Mamou's gone.
Great run from Sabalos. Zacic will not get through with 1:49.59 because we had Barkala on 1:48.42 Thivo of 148.69. And then a new PB for the Dutchman, 148.77, and Carraccio, 149.08. So Zakic will not make it. It's only Ceballos from this fourth and final heat. 3 British winners, and we finish off with an excellent run from a very spirited, talented Spaniard.
Oh, what a terrific finish there from Ceballos as Zakic starts to run out of steam badly, his head going back, and he's moving out to the second lane, doesn't need to. He lost distance there. That might have even cost him a few hundredths moving out to the second lane. He should have just stayed in the first lane and gone the quickest path on the way to the finishing line. But Ceballos, good run from the Spaniard. We lost the 3rd and 6th fastest men in Europe in that race, but he's no doubt at all there. And Ceballos clinches his place in the final with that sparkling run. Sparkling in the rain, 149.24. However, the fastest man in the field, William Rabjons, has actually run faster than that. He leads the European list with 1:45.41. The Briton, Rabjons, goes in lane 4. He was a very impressive heat winner. On the outside, first of 2 Spaniards, Ryan Bacala. Bacala improved this year to 1:47.88. Tom Waterworth made the final at the European Under-18s, was a very impressive heat winner. Theo Tevenet, second on this year's list, 1:46.48. And that's in Martigues in June. Rafte Murfin. Murfin, just 17 years of age. Rabjons wearing the blue shaded bib that denotes that he is the European Under-20 leader. Ceballos was also a heat winner yesterday. He's got a really strong turn of speed over the final 100 metres, Ceballos. I'll be wary of that. And then the 2 men who qualified as non-automatic qualifiers, Mosselman and Carraccio. Carraccio, just 16 years of age. So the men's 800 metres final. Very interesting to see the tactics here. Is it going to be somebody like Waterworth who takes it out and delivers a really quick first 400 metres? They're all going to be looking at Rabjons. Rabjons is by about a second faster than anybody else in this field with that 1:45 performance. And Rabjons tucked on the inside, he's up there. Now it is Waterworth who heads to the front at the 200 metre mark.
Waterworth was the fastest qualifier with 1:47.83. Clearly decided he doesn't want to leave it to Rabjons and Thevenet. Thevenet was brilliant in qualifying. But the other Briton in this is also paying close attention. Murfin now. So the Brits in first, second and third at the bell.
53.33, it's quick. And it's Waterworth still making the pace at the front. Rabjons behind him. Bacala, the tall, perhaps the less heralded of the Spaniards, up there as well. So it's 3 Britons, 2 Spaniards in the top 5. Tevenet getting run out of it a little. He's unsighted. Oh, the Spaniard's gone down. Ceballos has gone down, clattering into his teammate. And it's the 3 Britons at the front. Is it going to be a clean sweep? Now, Mifrin takes the lead. Murfin in front. Waterworth, having had to cede pole position, coming back again. Rabjons battling away. This is looking as though it's going to be a clean sweep for Britain. Who's going to take gold, though? It's going to be Rabjons. The European leader takes gold in Tampere as he leads home Murfin and Waterworth. It's a Britain 1-2-3. It's not the first time it's happened, but it doesn't happen very often. Rabjons at 1:47.88 is winning time in that race full of drama.
Well, you have to feel really sorry for Aaron Ceballos. Just as he mounted his charge, and Bacala is understandably a little bit emotional, the Spaniard. He was having a word with the three Britons. Nothing was done deliberately, but he's obviously upset because he could see that his teammates' aspirations for stopping the British 1-2-3 came crashing down with about 2:50 to go. That's a real shame. It spoilt the mood. It was accidental. In fact, Rabjohns ran on the inside because there was no gap given by Waterworth. So Waterworth shoved Bacala. Rabjohns ended up stepping on the infield, and the Spaniards are feeling a little hard done by there.
But that head-on shot is critical because Waterworth just gives him a little nudge. I think that's within the, if not the rules of the game, but the accepted practice of 800-metre running. And it was Ceballos who actually ran up the back of Bacala and brought him down. Well, I'm sure there's going to be an appeal. We'll see how it unfolds. I have to say, I think it would be very unfortunate if Waterworth to be disqualified. That was not a particularly significantly heavy shove.
Although Rabjohns did put his feet on the infield 2 or 3 times. It was on a straight rather than a bend, but the Spaniards are certain to challenge that. So, Rabjohns putting his feet on the infield. 1, 2, 2 strides. He went for a gap, and that is why he has been disqualified. I had a funny feeling that was going to happen. He did go for a gap that appeared not to be there.
So indeed, that disqualification of William Rabjohns is upheld. The first man past the post, and it's instead the Britain's Rafferty Murphin who gets the gold from Tom Waterworth and Aaron Ceballos.
Hey, I'm Ellis Fitzgerald, and you need to go and sign up to European Athletics U20.